and action. Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's episode of Trade the Chain. We are back, and I want to say thank you guys for putting up with us during our absence last week. Well, no, this week. What day is this?
This is Thursday, Alex.
Our absence last Friday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Really appreciate it. We have a lot going on that required a lot of our attention, and we apologize to you guys for not giving you your daily dose of whatever the heck we give in doses here. That being said, it's been a pretty range-bound market for the week. No pressing issues whatsoever. But because our crypto analysts, CJ and Monty from MarketRebellion.com, are off today, we brought in two very smart people that are crowd favorites, and that is news. And Nick Mancini, our Trade the Chain community manager. I mean, we need two guys like this just to prop Ryan and I up anyway. So
I'm just a haircut. That's all I bring to the table.
Ryan's just an NFT.
A very expensive NFT. Yes.
A living, walking, breathing NFT.
So with that being said, if Ryan, you're pulling like triple duty today, if you don't mind.
Yes, sir. Good to be back. And yeah, thanks everyone for bearing with us. We have big news for you that we're going to share in the coming week. We can't wait to share it with you. But until then, let's get through the disclaimers and plugs. This is just.
I don't have a copy of the disclaimer.
That's
so
okay.
You're going to have to just mention everybody, and then I'm going to hop over to the plugs.
Yes, sir. This is just a reminder that all content provided by Trade the Chain, Market Rebellion, and Digital Asset News is strictly for entertainment and educational purposes only. Absolutely none of this is investment advice. And by the way, why would you listen to anyone that looks like the four of us? I just don't understand it.
That's true.
Trade the Chain is brought to you by TradeTheChain.com, a global 24/7 community of traders across 23 time zones. That's all that have people. And they're all using AI-driven sentiment indicators and actionable alerts to help them beat the market. If you too want to trade like a crypto insider, head on over to TradeTheChain.com and check us out.
That's exactly right. Thanks, Ryan. And then for all that, on top of that, if you're looking to just learn about cryptocurrency and digital assets, or at least just the basics, head on over to danteachescrypto.com. Pretty easy stuff, simplified as best as possible, and it's 100% free. So check that out.
See, this is how bad we're messing it up. First of all, we missed a plug. Second of all, Rob didn't screen share Dan Teaches Crypto. I mean, I don't know what's going on with you guys, but if this is what a week off does, you're just falling apart.
Alex, this is the well-oiled Trade the Chain machine that I constantly talk about. We're in mid-season form here. We're like the Mets. So that's Dan Teaches Crypto. But Market Rebellion.
Look at these people just signing up like crazy 2 hours ago, 30 minutes ago. Actually, you know what? We just passed the 15,000 member mark.
Wow. So, nice. Yeah. Good for you, man. Congrats.
If I just would have charged $1 a month, I would have been rolling in.
Like the guys at Market Rebellion. That's CJ and Monty. That's their community. And that's
hold on,
for $1 a month, you can join.
Here we go.
Market Rebellion, that's CJ and Monty. That's their community of traders. It's everything you need to trade crypto. $1 a month, and they provide lessons, tutorials. They have fully functional charting, and I'm just not as good at this as CJ is. But apparently, you can get $25 in free Bitcoin if you join.
I will say, I saw a tweet from the Market Rebellion people that this offer here for $2.99 is going away. I believe the end of this week. So, folks, it'll be $3.99 soon.
Be dialing, people. They would say on QVC when we were kids. Be dialing.
Dialing. All right, listen. This is funny. I just want to say, listen. The show's going to get better from here. I really do promise this. Okay, so now that we're done with all this malarkey,
that's a good point.
Always wanted to throw that word into a saying, but yeah, go ahead.
Malarkey.
That old chestnut.
One thing I wanted to point out before we got started today with this unstructured show, I guess, such as it is. Nick, our chief community officer, our research analyst, our jack of all trades here, he made a prediction a few weeks ago when I was deathly ill with bronchitis, which I'm sure some of our viewers loved because they didn't have to see my beautiful face. But Thanks, Rob. But he made a prediction that came true. Nick, what was that?
Yeah, so it was right around the time when I had mentioned that Ethereum was likely to head down to 1,800, and that my fundamental reasoning was that Bitcoin dominance was clearly strengthening after finding a bottom, and my belief was that Bitcoin would be the best performing asset for the month of June and potentially into July. And I believe, Ryan, based on the data that you're analyzing, is Bitcoin is in fact the best performing asset for the month of June. So for all of those who kind of didn't like that trade, I completely understand why. It's tough to love trades like that, but fortunately the trade came to fruition. So any of the members that listened, and I did repost in the community around the same time as well. So anyone who read those as well, if you listened, you probably didn't have as bad of a month as maybe some of your peers. So wanted to make sure we mention that and to watch out for some more predictions in Q3 and Q4.
Absolutely. And if this article from CoinDesk is to be believed, and I think it should be, Dominic's a smart guy over there doing their research. He put a whole feature together around how Bitcoin outperformed top cryptocurrencies. So nicely done there, Nick. Nicely done.
Nice. Really quickly going into that, since first of all, Nick does have some great commentary that he puts out on the markets. But Nick, can we go in and kind of discuss what's happening right now? I just want to show folks what the one-day sentiment chart looks like. It dipped lower on the pop. If we zoom out 7 days, you could see that my computer's not working. But there we go. There's the one day sentiment where we took a step down lower. There's the 7 day where we were rising higher. I thought we were going to have a comeback, and you can see sentiment right here leading price in blue, and then boom, started going down and started leading the decline. So it was a great indicator. But what's the word here, Nick, from your view?
Yeah. So do you want to pull that chart back up really quick?
Sure.
It may be easier to just point instead of have our members do it from memory. Okay, so cool. So I have been treating, to kind of go 360 and just start from the bottom, if we're looking at where sentiment and price action are currently, sentiment has not gone below, I believe, the 36 level in a few weeks. I don't think it's been there since that major drop in kind of early May. So 36 has kind of been our sentiment support. And as you can see today, right before the 12 mark, we actually had a bounce right around, I think, the 38 mark. So that's good that sentiment is finding, or it's trying to find a bottom there, and price is acting a little wacky around that sentiment level as well. But I do want everyone to, if you go back to that 7 day chart, so there was a inverse head and shoulders as in the price and in the sentiment yesterday, June 30th, starting, I think the head was right around 12 p.m. if you're looking there. We actually had sentiment rise and price rise after that. It didn't complete, but from an hourly short-term perspective, that was an easy trade that you could have at least tried to make with some leverage, maybe 10%, with a spot, maybe a couple percent. So right now we're seeing, another bottoming. We're seeing sentiment hover around the 36 level. Price is equally trying to find a bottom around key supports, which is around 32.8. It just dropped there right as we started the show. So if sentiment is bottoming and price does find a bottom at its key support level, this is a great opportunity to look for maybe a long or a reversal trade. I don't want anyone to catch knives, but I do want people to look. If sentiment bounces on 36 again, and price does come up on 32.8 and retest that again, that is a pretty good trade signal in my eyes.
All right.
Do you think long term what we're looking at here is, are we going to kind of just trade sideways like CJ and Monty are often saying, or do you think we may start to slowly grind higher through the summer based on sentiment kind of bottoming out here?
Yeah, so seeing sentiment pick a bottom level and actually price react pretty well to that bottom level as well is a really good sign, and that means that there is a fear bottom for people, and that means that market makers are reacting to negative information on social media in a way that benefits them purely. So if more people are looking, at a downturn and price is reacting, then someone is watching that alongside sentiment. So I think this is a really good level to watch, and this is a really good signal that things may be lifting higher if we're finding multiple support. One is an opinion, two is an opinion, three begins a consensus. So once we start start seeing multiple bounces like that, when we start seeing the put to call ratio come down, I gave a quote about that in CoinDesk recently as well. So it's not just retail, it's institutional that is now becoming less bearish than they were for the past 6 to 8 weeks. And when you start to see things like that, you really want to perk up. So retail sentiment and institutional sentiment, not perfect, but certainly much better than the past 6 weeks, and looking much more optimistically than before as well.
One thing that concerns me is that active addresses are at their lowest number since April 2020, according to Glassnode data out this week. So that to me, and that to most people, is a signal of weak demand, which if demand is weak and sentiment isn't exactly surging, I feel like perhaps, you know, we aren't really going to go much higher, at least in the near future.
So I do believe a ping pong is likely. Basically, the 50, 100, and 200 MAs are basically, if you've ever played Pong back in the 80s, 90s, that's basically what Bitcoin's doing. It's just, you know, the one level sneaks in, pushes it in and out. But, you know, thinking about the, you know, the market efficiency theory, or the, you know, whatever, however you want to categorize, you know, the idea that the market is always efficient no matter what is happening. The market really does like Bitcoin in the 30K range. So, I mean, based on the fundamentals, based on-chain indicators, based on how retail and institutional is, I don't see the sub 20K and stuff like that. And that didn't happen. We held support 3 different times. And, you know, we may retest it one more before going higher, or you know, potentially lower. But if you're seeing this as a fundamental or a technical analyst, you're not screaming bear, bear, bear anymore. You're actually maybe taking a neutral stance. And we've seen volume decrease as well, which means people really are decreasing their risk. They're not trading when they're uncertain. So people are waiting for a few more signals.
Fair enough.
Very cool. All right. First of all, I want to tell everybody, I saw our good friend Chef Dan in the comments earlier. We have been streaming our daily shows live for, oh God, Ryan, how many, has it been 2 months now? 3 months, 2 months?
About 2 months, give or take. Yeah, since right before you and I moved to Puerto Rico. And we've been here since May 1st. So I was in Philly for 2 weeks and then disappeared for a week in Miami. And then we resumed after.
You disappear a lot.
Bronchitis. I had bronchitis, guy. I couldn't utter 2 words without a coughing fit. But now that I can, I have lots to say, which everyone loves. One thing I wanted to go back to, and this is something that I also, I'm keen to hear what Rob has to say about this. Before you mentioned your prediction of ETH down to 1,800, right? Do you think, Nick, that we're able to maintain support above 2,000? It's down 6% in the last 24 hours. We're at 2090. Sentiment is negative. Where do you think we go from here with ETH?
So above 2,000 that's tough. So basically, by the time Ethereum price finds the daily 200 moving average, it will be about $2,000, maybe slightly under, and maybe 1980. So I would look at that price as your first support. And if you are looking at, you know, a chart, go to the daily candles and make sure that you have an indicator that is the 200 moving average. I would find that as support. But the fact that sentiment is, as Alex has shown, is bottoming here, is a good sign. Usually when we start to see that kind of that camelback, that turtleback hump right there in terms of sentiment creeping back up, price has followed many, many times in the past. So right now, Bitcoin and Ethereum are both kind of seeing some red candles after more or less a green, or a surprisingly green weekend, in fact. But I would look for that 1980 level, especially since sentiment is bottoming. You may see price do a little funky drop just to test the 200 MA, because market makers love to mess with our emotions. But the fact that the majority of people are kind of flipping their script and saying, I'm going long, I'm feeling bullish, this looks good to me, especially at that key area of 200 moving average, which is what everyone on CNBC and every talking head you know has been mentioning. That's a key level to look for a potential trade or a reversal as well.
All right,
but I guess the answer, yes or no, I potentially under 2K, but I can't give a certain that won't happen.
Okay. Rob, tell us what's going through your mind over the course of the last week. You know, also for anybody listening out there who just put a +1 in the live chat, who wants to just go to sleep today and wake up in August when we
when we start going, when we actually start moving.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I think. Everything that people just said, everybody just said on this channel is exactly right. I don't think we're going to do much of anything. We'll do some ping pong. We'll go up and down. It's going to be sideways. It's going to be boring. And that's why the volume decreases. That's what Ryan talks about, the active addresses. They're all going to go down because it's not exciting. This is crypto supposed to be an exciting, plus 40%, negative 60%, wild west show. This ping pong era is just boring, but it is what it is. I don't think,
last summer, DeFi surged and it brought ETH up with it, right? You don't see that being possible this summer as well. I mean, there's been momentum building in a lot of those projects.
I think what really is going to bring up Ethereum, and I talked about this before, is that EIP1559, the block is going to be minted in mid-July. And that's what everybody's kind of waiting for. So I think if once that happens, or as it leads up to it, buy the rumor, sell the news, all that stuff, right? We should go up. And then right before, we'll probably go down. And then if it actually works, like some people have told me that, because what I read is it's supposed to reduce the gas fees. But as I read further into it, it seems like it's all just a recalibration of where the fees go to. And it's not so much about reduction. And it's all about tipping miners and not giving a set amount. So I'm like, is this the big end all be all for Ethereum? And if not, well, then this is actually good news for those two-layer solutions like a Polygon and things like that.
Rob, but this is what I'm getting at. I want to ask you, because you have you have delved deep into Cardano. Okay. I mean, we at this point, we can call you a Cardano expert, maybe even. You have your own pool, the Dan pools.
I have a pool here, and I have a DNews staking pool. I mean, I got 2 pools. I have 3 pools. DNews 1, DNews 2, and this one that I take a dip in every day. It's crazy.
Rob's got so many pools, his pools have pools. So let me tell you this: if the London fork if it merely just recalibrates where fees get paid and how miners get tipped, and it does not successfully reduce transactional fees, where do we go from here? Is this where we say, hey, Cardano, how about this? Is this where we say Ethereum starts losing market share? Because now we know the delay on a full V2 is all the way to the end of 2022.
That was a marvelously way to word it, Alex, because if you would have said, is this going to be the end all for Ethereum? No, because it's on the tip of everybody's tongue, right? Even Jim Cramer is talking about Ethereum these days. So I mean,
he's back in.
He bought a Hummer.
Yeah. Oh my God, kiss of death right there. No, I don't know. So just like what Ryan talks about, because Ryan loves Ethereum, I love Ethereum, and there's so many projects built on it as far as DeFi. For us to say that it's going to go way down, just disappear, that's like ridiculous. But as far as like market share, we all know those companies that they start out hot and they're great, they're a first mover. But sometimes there was a great article, I think it was in Forbes, which Nick has been featured in. Forbes, I don't know what Nick is doing here. He's like bigger than everybody. So book Nick Mancini on your podcast. So when they were talking about like these first mover advantage, one of the things they talked about was MySpace and how it was like revolutionized for social media. And then all of a sudden different things come in, and they learn from the mistakes of the first movers and they improve upon them. And I think that's one of the things that we see with a Cardano, see with a Avalanche, see with a name your whatever else. So they'll take little bits and pieces. 1% to 2% isn't a big deal, but if you got 10 competitors, they're all taking 2%, 20% market cap. So I'm just saying it is one of those things that to be aware of. That's all.
I saw that article, Rob. I'm trying to find it, but yeah, calling Ethereum MySpace is such a great comparison because they're at an inflection point now where they either innovate and they are able to build on their success, or Fox buys them and they die.
Yeah. Well, go ahead, Nick.
I just wanted to mention the one thing about EIP1559 is the fact that, and I do think that we are good in questioning the success and the implementation of the heels of EIP1559. But the big bull case for it is Ethereum is going to be burnt every transaction, which in the grand scheme of the network, if done properly, creates deflationary pressure on the supply as well as the price, because less supply, same increased demand equals higher price. So I just wanted to make that note that the one bull case, if it goes well, is that Ethereum will be burnt, therefore decreasing the amount of Ethereum over time on the network.
Yeah, and I forgot who it was that was talking about it. Some big investor. They said they like Bitcoin, but they don't like Ethereum because it can go up forever and it's inflationary. But now with this, then yeah, Nick's right, it could be deflationary. And then one last thing.
That's the key word.
Can.
Druckenmiller. That was Stanley Druckenmiller that made that comparison.
Or as I call him, as I call him my first time, Drunken Miller, and everyone said, "You're a moron." And I said, "Of course I am." But one last thing I will make comparison as far as like first movers was eBay and Amazon. So like in the back in the day when Amazon came around, everybody's like, well, that's not going to, why would a bookstore make it? Because that's essentially what it was. And then it overtook eBay, and then eBay did some improvements, but they couldn't really, and there was a point in time when eBay was actually stifling and crushing Amazon, and then it just came right back. And what happened? Just like Ryan was talking about, they innovated. And they put forth all the different things they need to do, which was acquisitions. They built warehouses, they built infrastructure, and now here they are. So I think it's one of those lessons to be had that if you can go forward, you have to do these things, which are the hard things that nobody really sees until, everything just blows up.
Everybody's complaining about your mic, Rob. Push it away.
Is
push
it too
away. No,
high?
push it away.
No, I know why. How about this?
That's so much better.
Oh, man. So this whole time I was probably talking like, like
so wait, what did you say before we went live about his voice? It was, he has a voice like who?
It's a soothing baritone, like crushed velvet. It's just
like crushed velvet.
Rob could yell at me and I'd enjoy it. Like that's the kind of voice he has.
Rob's gonna start a book reading channel where it's just him reading everyone's favorite books. So if you can, Rob, please, for me.
No, it'll be trashy romance novels. That's what I'll do first.
Now, one of the things that I want to say, first of all, Ryan, you have a couple of bits of news I want to get to.
Yeah, so I'm not sure how big of a story this is. I don't think any of us really is. But it does seem like it's rather significant. Hold on. There we go. That's the one. Okay. So Germany just signed into a law allowing special funds, which apparently take up a good portion of institutional assets in the country, to invest up to 20% of their assets in crypto, right? So I don't know why that had to be signed into law. I don't understand German law any more than I understand German language. But this seems big because it unlocks apparently up to $415 billion to flow into crypto. Now, it's worth noting that doesn't mean $415 billion will flow into crypto. I'd be surprised if a fraction of it did. However, it now can. And if the market conditions are right and the opportunity is there, even a quarter of this or half of this flowing into crypto assets, especially some altcoins with thinly traded volumes or like DeFi projects, the difference that this could make in valuations would be monumental. Like even in Bitcoin, it would be monumental. So it's just something worth keeping an eye on.
I'd love to hop in here because in my previous company that I co-founded, we actually spoke to a few German funds who were very interested in the technology that we had. Mm-hmm. And surprisingly enough, the aspect that you mentioned, the thinly traded altcoins, like coins like VeChain, like VET and Omise Go, OMG, and things like that were of great interest to these types of managers because of the thin floats, high sentiment attention, loads of volatility and potential to make him obviously lose money. But I just wanted to throw in that you hit the nail right on the head. I've had questions about these types of assets in the context of throwing fund money at it. So we could, I'm not going to say Omise Go and VET are going to get all the money from this German law, but I'm just saying those types of assets are being looked at.
Crazy. There's another thing. Sorry, Alex, go ahead.
No, I was going to say that also the German government has been the most flexible when it comes to the space. I mean, they were amongst the first to launch ETPs and various other structured products. So, give it to them to have a really open mind and kind of leading the EU space forward.
Absolutely, for sure. A lot of our fans also may have noticed StormX has shot up quite a bit overnight over the past 24 hours. And I'm not sure what the relationship between sponsoring an NBA team is, and I guess the value of your currency going up, because I don't know that the benefits have been realized yet, but I guess the increased awareness. This is cool though. I mean, the first crypto ad patch on an NBA jersey. It's very cool. And
I'm grabbing a jersey.
That's a nice logo. I got to give it to
nice logo. And congrats to Simon. Good for him. I mean, it just shows how successful the company is and how well it's doing, and that they're able to sponsor an NBA team, because that ain't cheap. But I think this is a really cool step forward for the industry. And I think that, long term, it will benefit StormX and the crypto asset ecosystem. Do we know if the Trailblazers are accepting StormX at like their arena at the Rose Garden, or like, is there a way to spend StormX or earn StormX?
That's a great question. I don't know that StormX is so much wants to be used as a currency. I think, though, there might be, and we'll explore this, we'll see if you can buy through StormX tickets in order to get that crypto cash back, though,
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
Right now, I am actually texting Simon to come on our show for next week, because this is cool. I need one of these jerseys rocking the StormX logo.
Look at Alex. Watch your toes. Dropping names. Look at that.
Look at that. One more thing I wanted to point out, because it's been a while since I was on the air. So I have one more story to share, which I think is really cool. Not the fact that Robinhood filed for its IPO, which, I mean, sure, that was expected. But 34% of their current cryptocurrency trading revenue in the first quarter came from Doge. That's how many people are buying Doge on Robinhood. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing.
By the way, this is Doge that you cannot transfer out of app.
Correct.
This is not even real Doge.
No, it's a proxy for the actual asset, because you don't own anything you buy in Robinhood if it's crypto. You're not self-custodying it. You can't transfer it out. They're working on that, and they said they're going to fix that. But it's synthetic Doge. And people bought so much of it, it drove 34% of Robinhood's crypto trading. That's a staggering amount for what amounts to a coin that has no value, no intrinsic value.
Yeah, people don't even know that. I mean, people, like, if you're getting into the space, you're like, I heard about this thing Doge and it's going up. I'm going to buy this thing called Doge. That's pretty much it. That's the whole marketing or the whole strategy for investment. So I don't even care.
All right. There we go. Very cool.
Rob,
Simon, Alex?
Rob, what do you have coming up this week on your show? I know you just did a Meld review, so people check that out. That's a pretty cool company. I know you just did your that text messaging app. I forgot the name. That's really cool. Downloaded that.
Yeah, see, so Meld is crazy. I mean, think about this: paying off a loan that pays off itself. That's essentially what it is. And I'll let you watch the video.
I don't know how that works, but it sounds good.
Yeah, I could try.
Rob's going to pay off our loans?
Yes.
The only loan I want, one that Rob pays off. Thank you so much, Rob. You're the best.
So here's how it works. Just send me your money and I'll pay off your loans.
I see our good boy, our good friend Lucas Bradley in the chat. And one of the things, someone was requesting Lucas's insights on the show. So when I see him later today, I'm going to kindly ask him if he would like to join us, maybe for tomorrow's episode of Trade the Chain, or possibly early next week. We haven't had him on in a while, so definitely see if he does. Maybe he'll say yes in the chats. That'd be kind of cool.
If you're in the TTC community too, I would set an alert for his posts. Usually he pops out of the woodwork for something very insightful and focused. So
he does, and that's a great way to put it. He'll like, there'll be conversations going on, all of a sudden he'll lay something down. You'll be like, damn, that was good.
Yeah,
someone mentioned something. Yeah, knowledge.
He's not a big poster, that's for sure. I know he watches some of my videos, but every so often he'll pull this in and be like, Rob, you really need to talk about this and this and this. I'm like,
when he does post, there's meaning behind it though.
Yeah.
It's almost like Confucius. Like, you have to read layers of the post.
I'm much more meaningful than the memes that I post in emojis.
No, memes are important. Look at Dogecoin. Look at Shiba Inu.
Okay.
If you let's not go down this road for a minute.
Also, Alex, AMA tomorrow with Donish, Bitcoin.com exchange, the cent listing on Rob's channel. What time is that again, everyone?
Oh yeah, that's right.
9:30.
9:30 a.m.
We actually have a busy day tomorrow. We have 9:30 a.m. AMA for Cent Token with Donish from Bitcoin.com exchange on Rob's channel. We have our Trade the Chain members AMA at 12 noon, and then another episode of Trade the Chain to close up the week at 1:30. So busy week. And then look at that. Look, Lucas has responded. By the way, that shows you we're live, folks. Lucas has responded. He'll come on the show. He'll put up with us. I don't know how much he wants to be paid, but we'll get it done.
He wants to be paid in StormX.
In StormX. Ryan, if you don't follow Ryan's Twitter, you got to follow his Twitter because
if you like boats,
dude, that's what I was going with that, Rob.
I follow Ryan.
Dude, there's like 4 or 5 new boat sightings that came out on. Oh yeah.
You don't have to tell me, Alex. I've already seen them.
Rob's all up on boat Twitter. Even though Hashoshi and Nick give me a world of derision for it, it's fun.
I love it. That's my favorite meme. Is honey wake up? Someone posted. It just cracks me up every time. Oh my god.
Well, guys,
Nick,
this has been fun. I think we're petering out.
One more thing, Nick, real quickly. We held a poll over on TTC about price action. Where'd that poll end up? Can you give us some just a little sense of?
Yeah, let me go ahead and make sure that I'm looking at it so I don't botch anything. But so we held a poll earlier so if you've been paying attention in the community, there's usually a poll on a Tuesday, sometimes polls on Thursdays. Keep a lookout for one today. We're still deciding on a fantastic question for everyone, but we put out a post or a poll basically asking what the community's predictions will be for Bitcoin's price at the U.S. market open on Monday, July 5th. And the market opens at 9:30 a.m., which is when the guys will be going live that you guys are going live tomorrow. But at 9:30 a.m. on Monday, the market opens and we will, obviously assess what the price of Bitcoin is then. But the prediction by the majority of the community and nearly double the closest answer was between 35,000 and 37,999.
Nice.
So people are not feeling super bullish, but definitely higher than where we are currently.
Very cool. I put that price range down too, by the way. Rob, go ahead. I know you got something to say.
Let me do a shameless plug real quick for my own channel because I am the king of the show. So in an hour, everybody, we're going to go over my price predictions. I've got a couple of guests, Mike the Investor and James over at Best Answers. And they're going to pick apart the different predictions that I gave. And I'm also going to take a look at, I think it's going to be some other ones that are in my portfolio, which would be right here. So we'll talk about a couple of those things. These are all the ones that I have.
Just the episode of them waiting.
Yeah. So stop by in about an hour or so, and that's it.
One final thing I do want to say is Simon just texted me back. He's coming on next week. We're going to so we're going to find a day and we'll make sure Ryan shows him some of the new boat posts and we'll get him on. We'll talk to him about the Portland NBA sponsorship and some other stuff. So he, looks like it'll be either Wednesday or Friday next week, folks. So I'm glad to have him on. I'm glad to see traders have finally found StormX again. And that's that. Ryan, any parting last words of wisdom?
Check out boat Twitter.
Hang on to your handlebars, folks, and we will see you tomorrow. We have 3 things we're doing: the AMA, Cent Token, Bitcoin.com exchange on Rob's channel, 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. If you're a Trade the Chain member or members only, AMA at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. And then we'll close out the week with another episode of Market Analysis with CJ and Monty tomorrow afternoon at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Folks, hang on to your handlebars, keep correctly. Watch